Take me into the night. I'm an easy lover. Take me into the fight. I'm an easy brother. 'Cause I'm on fire. Kill me if you dare. Hold my head up everywhere. Keep myself riding on this train. I'm the underdog. I live my life on a lullaby. Keep myself riding on this train.
Songbook, select one, take one.
Serge, thanks so much for talking to us today. So here we are. Kasabian have 3 massive albums under their belt, 2 of them #1. So where did all this come from? You're growing up in Leicester. Was this what you always wanted to do? Is it what you always dreamt of?
I mean, growing up, sort of wanted to be, you know, anything to not do a real job, and that was the main thing. Whether that be like you know, a footballer or, well, there's probably 2 options: a footballer or in a, you know, in a band. And yeah, I suppose it was the only thing I can do.
The only possibility.
Yeah.
But how did you learn? I mean, did you have a musical family? Did your dad teach you to play the guitar? Where does it come from?
Not really. I mean, my mum or dad, neither of them play anything, you know. Dad plays the spoons, you know. But, no,
Well, I guess that's something.
yeah, no. But he Dad was into sort of blues. So I can remember sort of Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good. I always remember that as a kid being one of them, you know, something. Well, with music, you know, and it does something too, you know, when you hear it and you can't explain what that is, or you know, your body just feels this thing. And I remember hearing that, and that was it. I was like, what's that guitar? You know, what's that noise? What's that all about? And that I just used to play it over and over again. And my sister was kind of, she was like into, I suppose, like U2 and the Smiths and stuff. So she was in the Jam. So kind of had that going on, but it didn't really do anything, you know, as much as, you know, this Chuck Berry thing did when I was that young, you know.
So did you then listen to Chuck Berry, for example, and try and work out what he's doing? I mean...
No, it was total air guitar, you know.
Okay, it was literally
tennis
just...
racket. Yeah, I still am, actually, you know what I mean?
Right,
never
well, presumably you learned something.
Never quite mastered it, you know, to that level. You know, it's just... but yeah, so, yeah, just pure air guitar.
Right. And then when you actually started making music, because, you know, for most of us, the idea of songwriting is a kind of a mysterious art.
Of course.
You've got to start somewhere. You've got to have a germ of something to get you going. I mean, how did you teach yourself?
I suppose, really, I started producing, really, first, you know, my sort of first sort of steps into the, you know, music. I got a computer and a sampler and... well, there's this, you know, the sort of big rave scene in the Midlands. I was, would have been like 12 or so, 13, and, you know, the sort of illegal rave scene, and you know, sort of people are just getting cars and go to these fields. I mean, I was too young to go, but it was just had a sort of, you know, punk vibe to it, you know, these things, you know, you couldn't go to HMV and buy it, you know, people passed these tapes around. And I heard the music, and it did something, electronic music did something to me, and I thought, well, I want to make that. So I got this computer and started making kind of, I suppose it was sort of rave, really.
And this was just playing around, and this really was
yeah,
teaching yourself. You didn't have anyone to show you
No,
how
of
to
course
do it.
not. I didn't really know how to use the sampler, you know, I just kind of, you know, messed around. I remember my sister got me Sgt. Pepper's for my birthday when I was sort of, you know, 14 or so, and she got it on vinyl, and I tried to sort of, you know, mix that into a lot of... So in a weird way, I suppose it was a start, really, because I thought, wow, this music's incredible. I've never heard anything like it, you know, and to try and mix that into a bit of beat music.
That could have been the template for Kasabian, because...
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Here you're combining electronic music with a pop song or a rock song.
Yeah, definitely. And I've always heard, you know, I listen to the Pretty Things and Zepp, you know, and Sabbath. I don't really sort of hear it as rock, so I always kind of hear it as beat music. It's got a beat to it that, you know, a sort of flow that I hear differently.
So when did you start writing songs that were, you know, that a band could play, as opposed to songs on a computer that would then, you know, that then might 20,000 people might dance to in a field?
Yeah, well, it would be, you know, when I first heard, you know, Definitely Maybe, you know, Oasis, it was just. I remember the Supersonic video, and it just that. I mean, I saw that, and it just again, you know, like these like moments where everything changes, and I was like that. It just blew me away, you know. You know, and I think, you know, as growing up, you know, I think, you know, it's great when you know, to have something that does that to you.
The other thing about Oasis, I suppose, is that there's a sense that they make it seem possible.
Exactly.
You know, these are working class guys.
Totally.
They don't seem completely distant, glamorous figures who have been playing guitar since they were 3 or something.
Absolutely.
So they must have been part of it.
Noel Gallagher would speak, and Liam, and they made you believe anything was possible. It was like, right, that's it. That's the way I've got to do. So I've got to get a guitar. But it didn't matter. I didn't really think, oh, I've got to get good at it. I just thought, well, no, all you do is get a guitar, you write a few songs, and then, you know, you take over the world. That's how you do it.
OK, now you make it sound quite simple.
But that's, I mean, I think that that innocence.
That's what you need.
Being young.
And that feeling that you
not
can
having
do
a clue how any, you know, what, signing a deal or you know, or you know, having tunes for a start, you just think, well, no, you just see it.
You just do it. You don't look at the problems then. You look at the glories almost.
Yeah.
OK, so let's just talk about, for example, Lost Souls Forever. This is on the first album. It became a big anthem. It became a Glastonbury anthem, you know, a huge thing. Yeah. Can you remember writing this, and can you tell me how you would have approached writing this?
Yeah, well, we sort of lived on this farm all together, and we sort of lived there for a few years. You know, it was great. We got signed, and we moved out to this farm. We sort of saw ourselves as this like little cult, you know, Manson family kind of. Jim Jones Kool-Aid sort of vibe going on.
Without all the actual strychnine laced Kool-Aid that would kill you.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
It was just more, you know, laced with other things.
Right.
And it was incredible. We just used to make music and listen, you know. It was just completely consumed. We didn't really detach from the whole world, you know. We didn't do anything other than just, you know, piss about and make tunes. And L.S.F. was kind of started as sort of electro tune, and like most things on the first record, and a lot, you know, what I do a lot is it start with this beat going round and a little verse, and you know, just got the melody going, and then it just kind of wrote itself, you know. I don't, you know, the lyrics were kind of, you know, sort of always against the world, which I do a lot. You know?
So. Tom Mahan normally sings L.S.F, being the lead singer of Kasabian.
Yeah.
How do you feel about giving it a go? Would you be happy to play L.S.F?
Yeah, I'll play it. I don't think I've ever played it before.
Well, it'll be a first.
There we go. Though it's funny, I don't like studios, you know, like, well, I don't like them. I think they're amazing, but I never record in them.
Where do you normally record?
Just in my bedroom.
Right.
Or in a studio we've got in Leicester. But most of the stuff I've ever done has always been in rooms, you know, the size of, you know, shoe boxes with 50p mics, you know, and just things. So it's pretty weird being in a serious studio. So anyway, this is L.S.F. I'm on it, get on it. The troops are on fire, you know I need it. Much closer, I'm trading just a little more. Step on it, electronic. The troops are on fire, I'm much deeper, a sleeper. I'm waiting for the final trip. Come on it, get on it. I'm carving through a little bomb, I need it. Much closer, it feels like just an arrow away. Come on it, electronic. Polyphonic prostitute, the motors on fire. Messiah for the animals. Oh, come on. We got our backs to the wall. Get on and watch out before you kill us all.
just a little more stephonic, electronic. The truths are on fire. I'm much deeper, a sleeper, messiah for the animals. Oh, come on. We got our backs to the wall. Get on and watch out before you kill us all. And oh, come on. We got our backs to the wall. Get on and watch out before you kill us all. Na 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 na.
Serge, you said that for the first album, you were on this farm for a couple of years,
Yeah.
the whole band together. But how did the band get together? Because singer Tom Mayen,
Yeah.
he was an old friend, or didn't you hear him singing in the park or
Yeah.
something like this?
But he was like, I suppose at school, you know, Tom would walk in and he just like light the room. You know, he's one of them sort of people that you just say, what's that noise? You know, what's going on over there? And, you know, he sort of bound in and there was one night where we were sort of, you know, drinking 2020, you know, Diamond White, and he broke into a song, you know, as he would. You know, he's the sort of person just, you know, what's going on? And it was incredible. You know, I was like, wow. You know.
So that's how the band started, when you met
Yeah.
him and you decided that you're going to do something
Yeah,
together.
but me and Chris, the bass player, we sort of, we just like sort of knocked about. We kind of learned instruments together, you know. So I'd go around to Chris's house and, you know, and like we'd be learning sort of on a massive, horrible sort of classical guitar. So me and him were just like, right, you play bass, I'll play guitar. Right, we need a singer, you know. And then, you know, the original singer was my best mate. I'd never let him forget that he was the original singer, because he went, no, I'm not into it, man. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah.
He didn't like the musical direction?
I don't know what happened. He's still my best mate. I love him dearly, but I don't know what happened. But he was never meant to be. And then Tom, you know, sang, and it was, you know, it was just incredible. So then me, Chris and Tom just started this band, you know, it's 97, I suppose, 96.
But how much did it change? Because before, when you were on the farm, this is before the first album came out, people didn't know who Kasabian were. A few people did, but it wasn't, you weren't a big band then.
No.
So then the album comes out, it's a hit. And then, of course, Empire comes out and it's a #1 hit. So how much does that affect the songwriting?
You know what, I've never really thought about it too much because of that very reason, you know. If you start to sort of, you know, think like that, then I think it just it kills you, you know. I think if you sort of consider everyone's opinion, then, you know, it's like, I think it's over, you know. I think you start writing, you know, you start making music for, you know, not yourself. And I think that's the, I mean, it takes a lot of balls. I mean, I'm not to sound like, you know, but it does, because it's easy to go, oh God, we need to make everyone happy. It's like, well, I don't really, no, you don't, you know what I mean?
It's going to wash out.
Yeah, yeah. And I think if the music's right, it'll always be good, you know.
Okay. Let's just move on to Empire, the second album.
Yeah.
There's a kind of 70s glam sound.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was deliberate or not,
yeah,
but
no.
it seemed to run through it.
Yeah, we were sort of on a roll, so it's like, right, we've got to get an album out quick. So we sort of did it in about 3 weeks. I mean, it was mental. Went to Rockfield and, you know, a real studio, and just sort of, you know, banged an album out, which is mega. You know, it was a proper album, because we'd done 2 years worth of touring, well, longer, 4 years, you know, from the first album coming out. It was an album to play out live.
Okay.
Tunes that you know that would just be incredible to play on, you know, in stages, and for people to.
And you know
to
they'd
sort of,
hit with an audience.
Exactly, yeah. So that was kind of very much where we were coming from, you know, and sort of it was a lot played, you know, we'd played a lot on that, you know, and it was sort of wild, very sort of drunken sort of album.
So your third album, West Rider, Pauper, Lunatic Asylum, not the most commercial album title. Where did it come from?
Well, I mean, again, I mean, it was like a sort of reacting against this sort of third album, everyone going, right, #1 album, everything's going great, you know. And when are you going to get serious and start writing music for, like, the world and, you know, become U2 and start, you know, and you just, well, you know, this is Kasabian, man, we don't do things like that. So rather than go, oh, okay, let's just go the total opposite way and make a concept record about lunacy and, you know, and see if we can get away with that, you know. And it's just, you know, again, it's things that are just influenced by, like L.S.F. Sorrow and, you know, and the Madcap Laughs and Majesties.
Satanic Majesties. Okay, so you just named 3 albums which are all pretty psychedelic, and you know, Syd Barrett did the Madcap Laughs. S.F. Sorrow was the Pretty Things, which were, you know, it was a concept album by a kind of blues-based rock band.
Totally.
And then the Satanic Majesty's Request, which I think is a great album, but it's considered one of the worst Rolling Stones albums by the aficionados.
Of course it is.
But I think it's great.
I love pop music, you know, as much as psychedelic music. But I just like, you know, the cover. It's just a cover, you know. I just think that's what I want, you know. I'm a big Kasabian fan myself, you know, and that's what I'd want to see next, you know. I want them. I want my banders to do, you know. I want them to go, wow, this is what we're doing now. And I mean, it's been the most successful yet. So I don't know what that says, you know, to anything, you know. It's like, that's pretty weird. You know?
Maybe it says stick to your guns.
Yeah,
do
totally.
what you believe in.
And I also imagined if it was going to be the one that destroyed us, it'd be the most beautiful explosion, you know, that sort of band finished after making this record about mental pop, you know. It'd be a good way to go.
One of the songs on the album is Where Did All the Love Go? Let's talk about that for a little bit. Can you remember when you first wrote, how the genesis of that song, or
yeah, I mean,
where the first idea came from?
That's probably written on acoustic, like one of the only ones. And just writing lyrics about the state of what I saw, you know. I'm a sort of romantic, you know. I you know, sort of bang on about psychedelic 60s and what have you, but just kind of you know, see that there's not a lot of, I don't know, it just seems like there's something just dead in everyone, you know. And I was just sort of singing them like, where did all the love go, you know what I mean? And kind of sounds like Neil Young in some ways when he's sort of slow.
Can we hear it?
Shall I play it?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Ever took a punch in a rib cage, sonny? Ever met a soul who had no shrine? Keep us all in your mind. Get inside my window. What do we become trying to kill each other? You faking it, son, gon' get you tonight. I suck another breath through the heights of the revolution. Still ain't right. Where did all the love go? I don't know. I don't know. But you can't see it. Gotta see the signs of a real change coming. Take another sip from this old bull's wine and get yourself a million miles from this concrete jungle. Cause this is a time full of fear, full of anger. Our heroes exchange for a telephone line. Whatever happened to the youth of a generation still ain't right. Where did all the love go? Now I don't know why. Oh, why? The rivers on the pavement are flowing now with blood. The children of the future to stare. Whoa, 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 where did all the love go? I don't know. I don't know.
Where did all the love go? What started it? What would it be? Would it be falling around on a guitar, or what got it going? What got the song going?
I had there's a song by ESG called Dance, and it goes dum 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 dum. I really like the flow of that rhythm, so I did a similar thing on an electronic drum kit. Then got a sort of riff going, and sang over the riff, and then worked out what the chords were, and got the chorus. So I thought, okay, well, that's in the key of whatever it's in, and then thought, right, well, so now you've just got to make a verse and a bridge and a chorus, and it'll be all right.
How much time would it take you to come up with that song, for example? I mean, would that be a process of weeks, or could it be written in an hour?
Yeah, probably about an hour of that.
The whole thing,
song.
from beginning to end?
Yeah. Once I had that chorus, so right, there's a bit I've got, now I'll just write everything else.
Words and everything? Or do they come later?
Yeah, maybe like a verse, and maybe the second verse wasn't written.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then the idea for the song, you know, you've got this idea of a kind of, you know, what's happening, the violence of modern Britain, I suppose, is what it's about.
Totally.
And then would it be that idea was in your head already and you were looking for something to fit it with? Or...
It was just a matter of having a newspaper on the kitchen table and, you know, seeing it, you know, having sort of Where Did the Love Go, and seeing all this, having the telly on, seeing things going, and just like, and then just started writing about it, you know.
Can you remember the first time you heard one of the songs you'd written, say on the radio, or you turned on the television and there you are? Can you remember that moment?
Yeah, I remember it distinctively. Mark and Lard played Process Beats on Radio 1, and we were told they were going to do it, so we sat round and just remember getting this huge buzz. I still do now, but yeah, it's a really good feeling, you know. Especially, Process was pretty wild at the time. It's different to what anyone else was doing, and to hear it on daytime radio. Because you just imagined everyone at work, all your mates at work, because everyone listens to like the radio, you know, in the shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the workshops, and them just all slagging us off. Yeah.
Can you imagine when you're in that situation, when you hear a song of yours on the radio, can you imagine being a bit detached from it? Can you imagine how it sounds to other people? Or does that sound like, does it just make you think of the time you're in your bedroom, wherever it was?
Yeah, I suppose it does,
out?
really, yeah. Probably to me, I can't...
You can't distance
I've listened
yourself.
to them so much, you know, because of working on them, you know, for a long time. You know, I'm hearing the snare sound on the fifth chorus, you know what I mean? So it's pretty mad for me. But I just think it's a... You know, like I said, it's just getting... For me, just getting a song like that and getting it, you know, out there on the radio is just... Because it's, you know, it's doing it our way, you know, and I think that's what's exciting. That's what I do this for, you know, to see what I can get away with. And it also fills me with, you know, joy that people do want it, you know, that you're not sort of, you know, you're not the only ones out there. People are excited by, you know, not the norm.
How about Underdog? How was this written, and when was it written?
That was towards the end of the album, and yeah, it was. I kind of wanted to, you know, sort of. It's got that hip hop flow, and you know, it kind of wanted to sound like Rolling Stones and a sort of mad sort of funk beat to it.
Rolling Stones, but with a whole hip hop side as well.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
But also working on, I'm not sure, if he was the producer or co-producer.
Yeah,
or
co-producer Dan, the automator.
Dan, the automator. Now, he comes from a hip-hop tradition.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, he's very similar, you know, he kind of doesn't really hear the, oh, it's hip-hop, you know, I'm not into that. It's like, you know, there's like, you know, he sort of hears the, you know, rock and roll in it.
Could we hear it?
Yeah, yeah. It was, in fact, guitars, all the guitars on that album, bar about 3 were done on this Hofner. Would you never think, you know, the riff on Underdog, you know, but it's all rhythmic, so I'm not a solo man, I'm not sort of Hendrix. I sort of gave up. When I saw Jimmy play, I was like, well, I'm never going to be that good, so I've got to figure out another way. So I'm a rhythm player. So I kind of, but I really sort of dig sort of Eastern rhythms and, you know, Turkish rhythms and, you know, African rhythms. So I was kind of trying, you know, play, you know, on that sort of thing. And also like Kurt Cobain, you know, I love the way he played, just quite simple, but...
A lot of guys in bands, they spend years playing guitar, they spend years and years learning all the, you know, the songbook of their heroes.
Yeah.
And it seems like you haven't gone through that process because coming through electronic music at the same time as writing these songs, it's a different approach, so it comes out differently.
I mean, I say the production side of things is as important as the song. You know, for me, you know, I like, you know, like with, you know, I'll have a beat and a bass line down before I've got a song, you know. And almost like sort of the way hip-hop's recorded, I'll sort of, you know, just sort of sing over the top over and over again until I find something like, you know, like I remember, you know, sort of later doing that with Underdog, you know. I sang the whole song through to a beat, a drum beat, and then worked out what the chords were after, you know, singing this whole thing.
Okay.
Which funnily enough, is amazing, because the chords in that song are really beautiful. But I never, you know, I just kind of followed the melody and just made the chords to it.
So it could start with a beat, almost an atmosphere.
Everything, yeah.
It doesn't have to start with a bunch of chords.
No, it rarely does, you know. Recently, I've kind of started learning what chords are.
Well, I suppose it's handy.
You know, it's nice by the, you know, if you get to the 4th record and go, you know, if you change the chords in the bridge, you know, it kind of gives it a little bit of a rise. I'm like, okay, well, I might try that one now and again.
Can we hear Underdog?
Shall I play it?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Kill me if you dare. Put my head up everywhere. Keep myself riding on this train. I'm the underdog. Live my life on a lullaby. Keep myself riding on this train. Keep myself riding on this train. Life in Technicolor sprayed out on walls. Said I've been pounding at the pavement, feeling nothing at all. I got my cloak and dagger in a barroom brawl. See, the local loves a fighter, loves a winner to fall. Feels like I'm lost in the moment. I'm always losing to win. I can't get away from the moment. Feels like it's time to begin. Kill me if you dare. Hold my head up everywhere. Keep myself riding on this train. I'm the underdog. I live my life on a lullaby. Keep myself riding on this train. Keep myself riding on this train. It don't matter, I won't do what you say. You got the money and the power, I won't go your way. And I can't take for the people, they don't matter at all. See, I'll be waiting in the shadows till the day that you fall. Feels like I'm lost in the moment. I'm always losing to win. I can't get away from the moment. lullaby. Keep myself riding on this train. Keep myself riding on this train.
Serge, when did you write Fire?
That was the first song actually I wrote for the album.
For the third album?
Yeah, yeah. It's really sort of difficult to play on sort of acoustic, but what's always amused me about it, because I wanted it to sound like Elvis and Kraftwerk. I thought there was a bit of a weird combination.
Yeah, you don't normally put those two
No,
together.
no. But I kind of had this like Johnny Cash kind of thing, like. Take me into the night, I'm an easy lover. Take me into the fight, I'm an easy brother. Is that like that like Elvis kind of thing? I thought no one's done since like Elvis. I had that going round, and then from I don't know why, I thought, well, that needs a chorus. So it kind of went like, but that's proper like electro, like boom, 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 boom. And then just sort of mould them together. I'm on fire.
So that melody and that rhythm that you're doing just then,
Yeah.
that comes out of the electronic tradition, the kind of thing that Kraftwerk might have done.
Yeah, that was because it was on a synth, just going. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah, and you wrote the song on the synth, did you? Wrote it on a computer.
that section,
Okay.
and then
The other section, did you do it on the
yes, yes, yeah. So I had this sort of thing going round and round. I thought, well, it needs a chorus, but I thought it'd be boring just to kind of go, yeah. So just schizophrenic kind of.
Two totally different things then, not
Completely
totally different ways of writing. So you had one section
Yeah,
on the synth and you're working out a melody.
Yeah.
Another completely different section on a guitar.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Elvis.
yeah.
And you thought, well, let's see what happens when we
Let's
stick
just-
can we glue them together?
Exactly, yeah. Get yeah, and imagine a sort of band just elbowing the other one off, on stage.
And then the other one gets back on
live
and
fight going
time
on.
for the chorus.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So there's a fight going on in the song
It's
between...
probably in my head as well, there's a fight going on.
Yeah.
Part of me wants to be Elvis, part of me wants to be Kraftwerk.
Well, if you can play those two things crashing together on the guitar, that would be great to hear it.
I'll try. I mean, I don't know if I can. I'll probably get at the chorus, man. Take me into the night, I'm an easy lover. Take me into the fight, I'm an easy brother. 'Cause I'm on fire. Burn my sweet effigy, I'm the road runner. Spill my guts on the wheel, I wanna taste, 'cause I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. It's pretty much them two parts, like going from one thing to another.
Glued together and somehow it works and makes this,
I don't,
this
yeah,
song.
it seems to, it's kind of been the, sort of really huge single all over the world as well, which is, it's kind of cool, because it's not the average pop song,
Well, to have such different
Yeah.
styles fighting in one thing. I mean, it's unusual, and also shows that this can't really follow the normal rules of songwriting to throw two aspects which are so totally different and different rhythms and stick them together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not typical, is it?
No, definitely not. No. It's art, man.
Well, but it can be done. There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you ever think about the influence that growing up in the Midlands has had? You know, because there is a certain... I mean, I've noticed with the Midlands, there's a certain thing where you can't... In a way, you can't take yourself too seriously.
Definitely.
Otherwise, you're going to be called up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you ever see interviews with Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, they will laugh at themselves.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and that's the thing, you know. I mean, the first thing was called Clubfoot, and like, you know, we've been taking the piss since the start, being our own sort of, you know, Leicester way, you know what I mean? And you can't take yourselves... And that, again, that also adds, you know, I think that's like... I don't take any of this seriously at all. Sitting here with you with all this going on, I mean, what's that all about?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? But it, you know, so I think, I suppose, I don't know whether that's a Midlands thing, but...
So do you think you've been a bit misrepresented? I mean, with this whole lad rock image?
Not really, because, I mean, that's
Although
kind
that part of it as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, and we are as well. But there's always more to, you know, geezers than meets the eye.
This is true, yeah. Even the toughest guy, you know, he's got a...
Yeah.
There's something
Well,
going
you
on
look
there.
at, I mean, The Who are a great example. I mean, have you heard The Who? You know what I mean? It's like, Bobby O'Reilly's one of the most incredible songs ever.
Yeah, it's completely experimental.
Totally, yeah.
Well, you also had... that's in a way, that's quite a good comparison because you had Pete Townsend writing songs for... which Roger Daltrey was going to sing. Now, you're writing songs which Tom Mahan is going to sing.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, there is a comparison
yeah.
there.
No,
I mean,
yeah. No, I'd say definitely.
and do you find it easier that way? I mean, would you be uncomfortable about getting up there and being the one who's fronting everything?
Yeah, I mean, a front man is a completely another world, you know. You know, it's a whole nother species, and completely different, you know. But that's why, you know, it works every time. It has done through history, you know. But I'm no Freddie Mercury, man. You know, I'm not be putting those Adidas trainers on and doing any sort of thing. So,
out of the species you know, I mean, how do you describe Tom Mahan? Knowing him the way you do, what do you know that he's capable of and for your music? And, you know, there must be certain styles which you think this is going to work for this guy.
He's the greatest, like, you know, of a generation, and that's all you can be in your slot, you know. When we play live, man, he's carrying the band. He's taking us over the top of the trenches, man. And if he's not in it, if he's not with it that night, then it all, you know, it falls to pieces. We can get through it, but you know, if he's not there, and he is that's every time. That's why we're so good.
West Ryder Pauper Lunatic Asylum finishes with a song that not only you sing, but also it's got a pretty different mood to the rest of the album, Happiness. What inspired this song?
Well, I think it was this sort of blissful ending, you know, like sort of like Lou Reed, Perfect Day, kind of. That was the kind of like, you know, sort of the way that sort of sound, and it's quite a journey. The album, it sort of beats you around the head quite, you know, frantically in a lot of places. So, it felt like you need something that was to just sink you back down to earth, you know. In Train Spotting, that, you know, when Renton goes down into the ground, that was kind of where it was going.
But in a happier sense.
Yeah, you know, blissful.
Blissful
sense.
way.
Yeah.
Can we hear it?
Yeah, yeah.
Be with you now. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. It's all we got, it's happiness. It's happiness.
Let's see, back over.
Happiness by Kasabian. Serge, you've been touring for what, the better part of 10 years, it seems. And it's been this pretty solid and pretty amazing ride. You've got a new album in the works, or what's happening next?
Well, yeah, well, just kind of sort of, I've started writing for the next record. Yeah, just because when it comes, you know, you've got to write it down, so it might not come again. So I've been, you know, working on some new stuff. It's pretty wild, you know, completely different to what I've ever done before. Really sort of got into sort of African rhythms and stuff, and I got into a lot of soul as well. So it could be going down that direction. The few songs I've got at the moment are quite like that. So.
How often do you write songs?
When I'm at home, quite a lot. You know, I really but you know, a lot of the times I just like to put, you know, sounds down and just.
But somehow you'd be working with music most of the, you know, I mean,
yeah.
if you're at home. And...
I think that's the moment I feel most that, you know, I think the world is in the right place. You know, everything seems, you know, when I'm sort of sat making tunes or just listening or, you know, making noise, whatever I'm doing, that's when I kind of feel I'm sort of, that's it, everything's, you know, everything's good. You know what I mean?
say you're happiest in that situation?
Yeah, I think I am, yeah. That's kind of when it all makes sense.
Brilliant. Serge, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
nice one. Cheers, man. Thank you. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, nice one. Oh, thank you.